In 2013, I was sent to a survival training course that lasted 3 weeks. For the final week, we weren't given any food. They taught us how to find water, start fires, and set traps. But in reality, we starved. Moving through deep snow in the freezing cold drained us fast. After 3 days, hunger had completely taken over. An instructor finally brought us a live rabbit and asked, "Who wants to kill it?" No one volunteered until all eyes turned to me. Reluctantly, I stepped forward. I had never killed anything larger than an insect, but survival forced my hand. After it was prepared, the instructor asked who wanted the eyeballs, rich in electrolytes. Desperate, I volunteered. The instructor tossed me the head and simply said, "Suck them out." Hunger overpowered disgust. That moment taught me a terrifying truth. Starvation can make humans do things they never imagined. History proves this again and again. In times of war, starvation often drove people to extremes, even cannibalism. During World War II, one of the darkest examples occurred on the Japanese island of Chichijima. In 1944, young U.S. Navy pilot George H.W. Bush, who would later become president, was shot down near the island. He narrowly survived, but his fellow airmen were captured. With food supplies running dangerously low, Japanese officers executed the prisoners, and in a gruesome act, some were butchered and eaten. General Tachibana and several others were later tried and executed for these crimes. But this was not an isolated case. Starvation shaped entire wars. In the early 1930s, Stalin's policy of forced collectivization in the Soviet Union triggered a man-made famine in Ukraine, known as the Holodomor. Millions died, and desperate families turned to cannibalism to survive. Parents were reported to eat the flesh of their own children. Soviet police logged countless cases, though many more went unrecorded. A decade later, as Hitler's forces besieged Leningrad, over 2.5 million civilians were trapped inside the city with little food or fuel. Bread rations were cut to barely more than crumbs. By winter, thousands died each day from hunger. In their desperation, some ate the flesh of the dead. Soviet police recorded thousands of cases of cannibalism, dividing offenders into corpse eaters and people eaters. Most were desperate mothers feeding their children. The siege lasted nearly 900 days, and over 1 million people perished. These stories are more than horror. They're reminders of the thin line between civilization and survival. Hunger can strip away morality, culture, and humanity itself. From survival training in snowfields, to the brutal island of Chichijima, to the starving streets of Leningrad, history reveals a haunting truth. When faced with starvation, human beings are capable of anything.